Stock market and SoFi investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. In today's video, we're going to do a price prediction and forecast for the SoFi stock price from 2025 until 2030. Where is this stock going price-wise? Is it going to be $25 a share by 2030, $50, $100, 100 plus? We're going to go through the numbers and I'm going to do a little breakdown on where I think SoFi is going to trade price to sales wise and ultimately what the stock price I think it's going to be. We're going to go year by year from 2025 until 2030. I'm going to give you my price target predictions. Let's get into it. Real quick, before we get started with this video, if you guys could hit that like button, it does really help us get into that YouTube algorithm. And if you want more stock market updates, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you take a look at your screen right here, I came across this article on 24/7 Wall Street, SoFi Technologies Price Prediction and Forecast 2025 through 2030. It highlights all the growth that's been happening over the last calendar year, right? 1 year gain, 139%, absolutely incredible. You know, it does have some retractions though. Cathie Wood has sold millions worth of shares. Morgan Stanley recently raised its price target from $7.50 to $13. You know, Needham raised their target from 13 to 20. So there's all kinds of different stuff going on with SoFi stock, right? Some of the key points in this article talk about SoFi being a premier online financial solutions platform targeting a more affluent demographic. Its ambition is to become a one-stop shop for financial services, along with growing deposit base, are likely to drive future growth. Okay, so here's the recent performance, man. Over the last year, incredible gains. Incredible gains. We're trading in that $15.20 range right now, right? So if we take a look at some of these metrics, right? 2021 share price, revenue, net income, and then now we are net income positive. So that's great moving forward, right? And we can see all these prices. And now we're going to get into the predictions. Here's some stuff that they think will help benefit SoFi stock over the coming 5 years. Expansion, financial services. SoFi's ambition to become a one-stop shop, like we talked about earlier. Insurance, investments, all kinds of different stuff. Bank charter and deposit expansion. As we get more members, we're going to grow this deposit base larger and larger year after year. Cross-selling and customer retention, which I absolutely love. Okay, so let's talk about their estimated revenue and the price to sales multiple. They're only giving it a 3.5 times price to sales multiple. But if you take a look at the SoFi stock and look at these actual numbers where SoFi is, I'm going to go on Yahoo Finance, go over to statistics, and we can see that SoFi is trading double that right now, pretty much. Price to sales right now coming in over 6, right? So they're being very conservative right now at 3.5 times earnings. They estimate the revenue over here in this column, and I think they're kind of sandbagging these numbers a little bit at 3.5 times multiple. 2030, they think we're going to do a market cap of $18.69 billion. But if you take a look at the outstanding shares, they're right around $1 billion. So that would mean the stock price would be right around $18. I don't necessarily agree with that, but the way they come up with these numbers is a little bit different, right? So 24/7 Wall Street is estimating that the stock at 2030 will be $38.16. So that's right around, 10% year-over-year growth, it says, right? 164% gain, giving us the stock price of $38.16 in 2030. So I did, however, come up with my own numbers if you take a look at them right here. Okay, so their numbers actually is a tick higher than mine, but this is just based on revenue, a 5 times multiple, and estimated market cap. Obviously, all these are estimations, guys, and this is a 20% compound annual growth rate on the stock price, right? Obviously, over the last year, we did 140%. So this is being extremely, extremely conservative, right? Okay, so right now, if we ended the year at $15.20 and we did a 20% compound annual growth rate each and every year up until 2030, we would have a $37.83 stock price by the end of 2030. So, right around 150% gains in 5 years. Those numbers are not huge, right? If you're looking for SoFi to be $50, $100 per share, we're going to have to dominate these numbers with this 20% compound annual growth rate. So that's on average, right? Some years will be better than others, and some years obviously will be a little bit worse. So I think a fair price to sales is around 5, 6.24 right now, right? They say it's a fair is around 3.5. I don't think that's necessarily true either, especially with the way we're growing. My estimation would be more, in that 5 range, right? That would mean an estimated market cap would be around 30 billion. There's about 1 billion outstanding shares, so that would be around $30. But with the 20% compound annual growth rate, we could see, and these numbers get bigger if we did 25% or 30% compound annual growth rate, right? Because if you're including the 2025 numbers, 140% almost, right, over the last year, they would have to significantly underperform the 20% for it to be 20% compound annual growth rate over 5 years, right? So probably the numbers more probably going to be closer to 30 to 35% over a 5-year period, right? And if we could do that, getting to around $50 per share, $55 per share is totally doable, in my opinion, by 2030. And I'm going to plug in the numbers right now at 30%, and we'll see where we're at. All right, SoFi investors, I just plugged in a 30% compound annual growth rate, and we could see those years are growing considerably more. Slower at first, but way, way more as we get closer to 2030. At the end of 2026, around $20, $25.68 at 2027, end of 2028, $33.39, 2029, $43.40, and at the end of 2030, $56.42. So $56 per share would be the stock price with a 30% compound annual growth rate from 2025 until 2030. I think these numbers at 30% probably are a little more realistic, right? These numbers, the stock price doesn't always match the valuation, right? So look at Palantir. I'm not comparing SoFi to Palantir, but sometimes when stocks become in favor, these multiples get all out of whack, right? So this could be trading at a 7, 8, 9, 10 price to sales ratio, right? Who the hell knows where it could potentially go? But if the stock grows 30% year over year from 2025 until 2030, at the end of 2030, we'll have a $56.42 stock price. I love that, guys. I own around 5,000 shares of SoFi. Just wanted to let you guys know. And if it gets to $56 a share, I will be an incredibly happy investor. Hopefully we get some years with over a 30% return, and that will give us a little bit of wiggle room as we get closer to 2030. So the more we get closer to 2030, the harder it's going to be to maintain that 30% compound annual growth rate year after year. All right, guys, there it is. My estimate for SoFi stock with a 30% compound annual growth rate is at $56.42. Let me know in the comments down below where you think SoFi stock will be at the end of 2030. I would love to know. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.